It's great to have our first game that actually counts. Our fans are amazing. The energy is electric. We didn't play great, but we had some good moments. And also, I rotated the whole team. So we played a lot of people. But I knew coming into this game I wanted to play a lot of people and just give different minutes, look at different lineups, put people in different positions to be successful. And I think we saw some good things, but we also saw we have to work on a lot of things. Well, I like the 5 in, 5 out, not in a normal sense of coaching, but just in a way to move combinations that have been playing together. So then they're confident, ready, they kind of know their positions and their roles. But then, we have 15 good players. And then Maddie's been playing so well. But to put Maddie with like a more defensive group, I thought was really good. Maddie's done a great job of bringing offensive firepower directly from the bench, and she's getting so much better defensively, and she's doing some really good things. So I was happy to see her stay ready, even though she went in a little bit later, but she gave us really good minutes, and she ended up playing longer. I was also happy to see Araya kind of get into a groove. I think that, she's getting in shape and getting used to a completely different system, so it was good to see her finishing better. And I thought Nettie played really, really well today. She finished well. She ran the floor. We're challenging her. We're teaching her to do things that she's never done. Nettie in high school just ran rim to rim and just ran to the paint on defense, but we're asking her to trap, deny, guard a versatile four. So it's all new for her. And so I like the way that we challenged her, and she rose to the occasion. I think we were forcing some contested shots in the first quarter. I thought our defense was good in the first quarter, but then our offense wasn't great. Just not making the extra pass. Because if you saw as we start to hit the corners and reverse the ball, we got open shots, and those are higher percentage shots, and then our percentage went up. So I expect through this year, through the lineups we play, we should be like the second quarter. Or third quarter, not necessarily 80%, but we should be a lot more efficient offensively. We are not a 33% from the field and 28% from the three team. We should be in the 40s. Offensively, I'd say 42% from the field, and we should be in the high 30s, from the three-point line, maybe even higher. And that's just our personnel and what we should do. And the area that we need to get better at is free throws. We can't be, 53% from the floor, then 64 from the free throw line. So that's just concentration, and we have to get better at that.
Adia, the power that Vonleh and Copeland are going to bring, what's that going to allow you to do?
To pound the ball inside. I've never been able to do that. It's kind of awesome. I'm like, run this play, get it inside. It's also because if you see Kate and Lauren, they've improved on their three-point shot, so it's going to enable us to play one-on-one inside in the paint. And if they double, we can have 4 shooters or 3 shooters around them. So actually 4 in a lot of lineups. So enable us to just be more powerful, put pressure on the other team's interior defense, and just match up with other teams inside. And I think we're able to do that because we can play really big. We can play Coy at the 3 at 6 foot, Araya and Nettie together, and Sam at the 2 and Helena. So that's a pretty big lineup. So we're just able to do more things. And today, I typically with a team like this that has versatile post players, I wouldn't typically play Araya and Nettie together. But I wanted to challenge them, see what they can do, see how they respond against guard-like post, because there's certain games where they're going to have to do that. So I thought they did really well, but some of the lineups, in the Pac-12 game, I wouldn't have kept some of those lineups together.
You talked about needing to improve defense. On the perimeter, it seemed like their number one was really quick, and we're having some problems keeping up with there sometimes. What do you think that you need to do to improve that?
Well, we have to guard the ball better. So we talk about guarding our yards. So there's an area that you have to guard, and if the basket's here, you can't allow straight line drives. And that's not what we do, and we were doing that a lot today. And we talked a lot before the game. One of our goals was being disciplined on defense. So disciplined on defense isn't going for reaching and fouls, and it's not fouling like we're doing, bailing them out, and it's not going for reaches, because when you go to reach, you get off balance, you get beat. So that led to a lot of straight line drives and then rotation. So that's not what we do. You'll see as we progress over the year, we won't do that a lot. But if you look at our starting lineup, we don't give those up in our starting lineup. It's just when we get into our rotations where it's just like, it's a little bit more challenging. But, Anna Gret's a freshman. She's learning a completely different system. Gisella's a freshman. They never denied. Nettie's never. So this is a whole new system for them. Offensively, defensively, it's a steep learning curve. So it takes time. But I'm critical of that, obviously. But then when I went back and looked at some of our film from last year, this time, we were better at trapping, but we were worse at rotating. So if you saw, there was some possessions, we had some really good rotations, and we bailed them out like in the first quarter with a foul. But the fact that we're rotating and sharing the ball offensively, we're ahead of where we were last year at this time. Now, I'm not saying we're going to go win a championship or guarantee the Final Four, but we have a chance to be a much better team on offense and on defense.
Right. When you signed off on Louisville as a first week game, did you take a deep breath?
Well, so the first thing is I couldn't get games. I literally didn't finish the schedule until like a week before the season. So it took me like 2 years to fill 3 games. And then we were getting dropped, and it was really hard to get teams to come here. And really, we almost didn't get CSUN. We had to kind of really negotiate and kind of, get them to come here. But they really had pretty much their games filled. I knew that playing Louisville early in the season with a heavy, veteran roster and stuff was going to be a challenge. But I also knew that we're a good team. So I wanted to see where we were at, and I think we have a chance to be really good. And I think that, our core is back, and we got better. So I think it's a challenge, and I wanted to do it. I thought it'd be a really good opportunity. Don Staley, Jeff Walls, we're all, teams that went deep in the tournament and we're playing there. So it's a really good showcase and good for women's basketball. So that's another reason why I wanted to do it. And we're not afraid to play good teams. We have a really good non-conference, but we have a good team. So I think it's going to be a good measuring stick to see what we're great and what we're not so great at and tell us where we're at.
So speaking of the core, one person we haven't talked about yet is Helena. She was leading a lot of the second, third units, if you want to call them that. She played a lot of minutes tonight, and she did all the little things that she always does, right? She got a lot of skills, and other things on defense. What did you see from Helena, and how much has she improved from last year?
Helena is a very good player. She has an extremely high basketball IQ. She has natural gifts that you can't teach. You can't teach someone vision on the floor. She's a phenomenal passer. She's like Ricky Rubio. So I joke with her about that. But she can play the 1, 2, 3, 4. She knows every position. She knows where people could be, and she is one of the best at finding people. I mean, guards lick their chops when they're in the game with her because they're confident because they know they're going to get shots, and the posts are going to get the ball. She puts the ball in the right place at the right time all the time. And for her, so I put her at the 1 a lot today because I think she's a 6-foot player that can be a really good 1. She shoots the ball well. She can drive it. She's a good defender. So I think that she is really important, and her role needs to be bigger this year, and she has to grasp that. And I think she did it tonight. But it's the second game. I think she had, 5 rebounds, 5 points, 3 assists, 0 turnovers, 3 steals, and that's in 21 minutes. I mean, that's a really good stat line. I think people like to play with her. They're confident with her, and the ball moves well. It doesn't stick with her, and I like that.
Any more questions for Coach Barnes?
Yeah.
Great.
What haven't we seen out of Chloe Love yet?
I think you haven't seen her play her best. She's just getting used to everything. It's a completely different system. I think that her best basketball is ahead of her, and she's getting better every week. And, we're asking a lot for her. She's playing a lot of positions for us. But Koi is going to be a really big contributor for us. She has the body to be a phenomenal defender. She's versatile. She passes the ball really well. So I think you're just going to continue to see her get better and better. And we expect a lot from Koi. She's here to help us win, and she doesn't care what her role is as long as we win games. And so I love that she has a selfless mentality, and she wants to win, and she wants to get better. She works on her game. So you're just going to continue to see her improve daily.
Sure.
With Louisville right around the corner up next, what's something that you're going to preach here to me that you got to get better at this area heading forward?
Just have to get better defensively, just more discipline. I think that, but that's something we can do. And you'll see a better defensive team when we don't have as much, when we're not playing as many people, because our starting group plays good defense. So it's just filling in those pieces where then we're solid and we don't take a dip. So when the pieces where we go into our subs, we maintain our same intensity. The defense might look a little different, but still solid. So I think I'm just being disciplined, and Tonight I played the starters like 17 minutes. I played Lauren 13 minutes, Shayna 14, Bendu 14. Those players will play a lot more in big games. They just will, because I know what they can do. But I already know what they can do. So right now I'm seeing what other people can do and how they fit with these players. So you'll see us just play our game. We don't have to change anything. We know how to play. We play well together. So I think it's going to be a really good game. But right now we feel like, we're not playing our best, but we're at the beginning of the season. We've never played our best, and neither is anybody in the country. NC State, South Carolina, I don't think anybody will say, we're at our best now. It's just the beginning of the process. So we're excited to get tested early.
It feels really good just to know that I'm still here, able to finally break some records. I guess that's why I took my 5th year. No, I'm just kidding. But just to be a part of this program, make history with this program, I feel really honored.
Sam, the quick start, showing your shooting in your last home opener, what was on for you?
I think my teammates just found me, and usually for myself, if I hit the first one, I feel pretty confident about the rest. So hitting that first little 2, I felt really good, and then my teammates found me in transition. So it was kind of with the flow of the game, so they were able to find me and get my shot off.
Sam, you're only replacing a couple of players from last year. They are key players. It looks like a much different team.
You are 100% right. I think everyone said in the preseason in the summer, we all kept saying you're going to see a lot of scores. We had so many shooters now, Maddie, Taylor, we have inside presence, Araya, Nettie. So we're just really excited. I hope you guys can see that we're a little bit of a new team. So it's going to be a good look, and I'm excited for my 5th year to play with these girls.
I would say honestly, like genetics is a big part of it. Like I've just always been naturally muscular and strong. And that definitely helps a lot with balance, because I can power up and stay on my feet, not be on the floor a lot. So I think that's it.
So at the end of the first quarter, you guys shot, I believe, 33%. What was that message inside the huddle? Because the next quarter you came out, shot 80% from the field.
Yeah, we just said pick it up, our shots will fall. We know we're an offensive team, so when we, low scoring in the first quarter, we're not too worried when we're focused on our defense. So we knew our shots would fall eventually, so we were just trying to say as long as we don't score and they don't score, then we're fine. So just stop them from scoring and our shots will fall.
Greg?
Sam, have you been checking out Louisville already?
I haven't yet, obviously I've heard some stuff, maybe seen a little footage, but had to focus on this game first because we can get beat on any given night, and I know people are probably out to get us. So focused on CSUN now, probably we'll go home and watch some Louisville film. I'm sure they already uploaded it.
Dan, just kind of talk a little bit about what the addition of Vonleh and Copeland is going to bring to this team. It seems like it's an inside power presence that we haven't had here in a long time.
Yeah, having them, it's really makes my life easier. I know that if I just throw the ball in, whether it's a bad pass, I know they're going to go get it, and they're really good scorers. They're great finishers. If they miss, they're getting the rebound and they're putting it right back up. So I know it's a guaranteed 2 points every time I throw the ball inside. So that's a great feeling. So if our shots aren't falling, just throw it right inside, and people have to guard them differently. Maybe they'll double team a little bit or play behind, play in front. So it gives us just a different look. So it's nice to have an inside presence.
Troy?
Aaronette, have you always had hands like that? Because it seemed like no matter where they pass you the ball, you're catching the ball, and then follow up that with Sam. How much does it help an offense having somebody that can catch the ball in any position?
Yeah, I just have big hands, so I've always been told that I have good soft hands and can catch anything.
Yeah, it definitely makes my life easier. And if people are pressuring us on defense, the guards, it's kind of hard to make a perfect post pass. So just knowing that they want the ball and they're hungry for it and they're calling for it, we always say if you see their jersey numbers, they're open. So even if I don't see their jersey number sometimes, I just throw it in there and they somehow get all these balls. So it's awesome.
Sam, are you used to, I know it's one game, but are you used to sitting the fourth quarter?
I will say it's nice, Usually I'm used to playing a lot of minutes, getting a little tired, but it's nice to have a great balance. So now, I can go hard for 5 minutes. I know I'm going to get a blow, and we're not going to blow a 20-point lead or anything. We're going to keep going and keep even getting better. So it's really nice to have a deep bench.
Got time for one more question for the student athletes, Troy?
Sam, what stands out to you about the two new guards, the young guard Connor and then the transfer in Chavez?
Yeah, it's great to have them shooters. Usually in the past, people have just sunk in the paint, so they were forcing us to shoot because we weren't the best shooters, but now we have them. I mean, Maddie showed that she's a great shooter. Taylor's shown they probably both had like 3 threes in the past 2 games. So it's just nice to have that presence on the outside so then people have to guard us, leaves it open for our guards and Nettie.
One more question, Troy.
So if you look at this game, Sam, and you look at the statistics, what's one area you feel like you guys need to get better as the level of competition rises next year?
Yeah, we definitely want to keep our defense up. We had too many missed box outs. They got too many O boards. Another thing is we try to keep them under a certain amount of points, and they beat that this game. So we know that if we're playing a better team like Louisville, if we give them 10 points, kind of like a CSUN team, 10 points in the first quarter, Louisville's going to score 30 points on that defense. So we're just trying to work on our defense for right now and carry it over to the next game.